Alright, so I'm going to be talking about the difference between validity and reliability. Now, a good example of what validity is saying, does this test work? Does this test respond to what we're trying to find? So let's say we're trying to find if students can add mixed fractions, mixed numbers together. If it proves it does, then yes. If it doesn't, then no. It's not a valid test. Now, reliability, on the other hand, is what that's all about, is what the correlation of these numbers are. Now, let's say Jimmy got 90%, Timmy got 80%, Sarah got 80%, and Jim and Jam got 60%. Now, that would be what the correlation is and what reliability is. Like, what is the scores of a reliable test? And then, because the majority of the students were consistent and got a passing grade, then the test is both valid and reliable, because they passed, and the majority of them were found that they understood it. Now, on the reverse side, let's say Jim, Jam, Jones, and Jimmy, Jim, Bob got 10% on this test, while only Sarah and Mike got 90%. Now, this test is not valid, nor reliable, because the majority of the students did not understand it and failed it, so it's not a good use of formative assessment. Now, another good example of this, something we can use in the classroom, though, is possibly happen. A dot graph chart, I think that's what it's called, where you put down all the dots saying what the scores are, and if they are consistent cluster, then you can find reliability in that test and see if it works. Another factor that you can use in this is that, what we're going to say. Well, I guess another good factor to explain that is that when it comes to practical assessments is that you have to make sure the reliability. I mean, yeah, you can design the best dang test ever. No one's ever thought of this before. It's revolutionary. But if you don't teach it right and the students fail it, it's not a valid test. You need to make sure it's reliable in the way to where they consistently pass, consistently do good. And you got to make sure they understand it. So basically, how this can be used for practical assessment as well is that if it's done right, you can get a good idea of how your teaching is going. You can see, like, okay, so 80% of my class managed to get this, but that 20% didn't. I'd say I'm doing pretty good, but I need to improve slightly with that 20%. And vice versa if it's gone that way as well. And that's about all I can think of. So I hope this has been a good explanation of validity versus reliability. Hope to see you class on Monday.